So the police sat there for a minute, and they kind of scratched their heads, and then for some reason or other, which is also a point of civil disobedience, they pulled their club. And they walked in, and they started poking the horses to get them out of their way, so they could get through this horse barricade and get through the rest of the protesters and onto the side. They got one horseman, a young boy about 19 years old, I guess he was. They got him off to the side where he was just away from the other horses as they were turning. And they reached up and grabbed the boy and pulled him off his horse. At the same time, they were doing a similar act to another horse rider a few feet away. Well, the boy, I guess out of fear or whatever, I mean, you know, he should have just walked away and it wouldn't be a problem, but he held on. I mean, this boy just held on to those reins. Now, they had him down on the ground, restraining him, and they're yelling stuff like choke him off and all this. And the boy is just holding on to those reins. Out of dedication, fear, stupidity, or courage, I don't know, but he would not let go of those reins. So they start beating on his hand. When they start beating on his hand to get him to release the reins, the cameras just went whoo, right in on him. And all of a sudden, the police realized what they were doing. And they saw what was going on. And they said, we're out of here. And they packed up and left. Our citing process stopped that day. So you could basically say that boy was involved. The point of civil disobedience is to prove that an oppressor will engage in violence to inflict their will upon the oppressed. If I learn nothing else in history, I learned that. So when that policeman, or those policemen, hit that boy's hand, it was like the entire state hit that boy's hand, not the police. The police aren't evil, the use of the police is evil, not the policeman himself. So the state realized what they were up against at that point. That does not mean we won. That just means they stopped for a while. And now they want to play political football. And why won't you talk to us? And why don't you help the citing process? Why would I help a process that's going to inflict its will upon me? Why would I do that? There is only one solution for Allegheny County citizens, and that is no dump. Not no dump with qualifications, not no dump if I can help figure out how the dump is built, not no dump if it's in somebody else's backyard. It's just simply, firmly, strictly, non-violently, no dump. And that, I think, is what stopped it. The police, the state has never had one incident to look at us and say, well, you radical people down there doing this or doing that or doing the other thing. They have never been presented with anything but the best manners that a community can provide them with, regardless of how we react to their system. So that's, you know, that's where we're at now. Anybody else? Sir, ma'am. Apathy is easy. I mean, you know, I'm not a Bible thumping Christian by any shape, form, or fashion. Some of you saw the tape. I think on the tape I call myself agnostic. But I'll say the same thing I said on the tape. I always have to look at things two ways. What does man, other people, think that I should be toward them? You know, I mean, how do you think I should be toward you? You have a perception, right, of how another human being interacts with you, right? And I think I have to answer to whatever that is collectively within the society of humans. I have to answer that collectively. Likewise, if there is a God, I must owe something to that God. Now, if I buy Christianity, I buy stewardship of the land. if stewardship means care of, what does it mean, ownership? Or does it mean care? Is not ignoring the environment as big a sin as any other conceivable sin you can come up with? If you're looking at your neighbors and they have these, like everybody does, how can they go to bed at night and say, I didn't at least do whatever I can do?
That's what I asked them. They said it's going to come anyway.
Oh, it's going to come anyway. It's going to come anyway. That's next to the NIMBY argument. It's going to come anyway. There's nothing we can do. The state can do whatever it wants. And there's nothing we can do. That is the answer for the state. That's exactly what the state wants you to say. There's nothing we can do. They'll put it in if they want to. Who is the state? We are. So we get this up north too, and I go, I don't understand this. You know, it's like who's that comedian that's getting all the press now, he got his own show or whatever, about respect or whatever, he does this, you know. I'm like, I don't understand this. How can you say that when you are the state? If the right of dissent, if the rights of the individual, not let alone dissent, if the rights of the individual are not paramount in our society, how many people did it take to end prayer in the schools? A whole country or one person? Why do we have a Miranda decision? Because of the whole country or because of one person? So if Spike Jones or Chris Combs says, I don't want to dump in my backyard, in my mind, that's all it should take. Because the rights of the individual through the court system have been upheld as being paramount in our society. You got it.
I just want to say one last thing. Somebody's got a Toyota pickup that says D's Toy. If they have it, you're blocking somebody in. Does anybody have any other questions? I think Audrey had something she wanted to say if there are any more questions. Somebody with D's Toy on the side of their truck is blocking somebody in. It's a Toyota pickup.
Y'all hear me?
Speak up.
I'm working. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
When I read the paper, I got a copy of Governor Martin's press conference yesterday morning. It said that they didn't have to go on the site and take soil samples in order to pick our site. And the last 2 months has been a series of ups and downs for me. It probably has for you. One day I feel like everything's on the top of the world, and the next day I feel defeated again. And when I got the copy of the news conference, I really felt a little defeated, and I thought they're manipulating the system again. And I thought about it for about 24 hours. And the reason that he doesn't want to go on the site is because he doesn't want to arrest us. He's getting too much controversy out of this. And he's going to have to arrest us, because if they pick the site, we're going to still be on the site. Eventually, we're going to create the controversy. In a way, we protected our own selves Tuesday morning and Tuesday afternoon when we stood there by being on the property rather than being on the roads. Monday night when we met, we had about 8 people in the meeting. And sometime during the course of the day, on Tuesday morning or Tuesday during the day, we had between 400 and 500 people there. And I was so proud of this county. Tonight we've got about 130 here. And so if that's any indication, I hope that our numbers, when we go to stand again, will reflect what it reflected Tuesday. Today, if you haven't followed the news, you saw Governor Martin traveling up 40. A lot of us wanted to be there and just couldn't be there to wave to him and blow him kisses or whatever. And he had 3 marked cars leading him up 40. That's all I could see on the media coverage that I saw. But they sent 20 cars to us, and I feel like we must be a little bit more special than Governor Martin. lot of controversy for him. I really do, and I believe and he's getting a lot of controversy over the fact that the Attorney General is suggesting to go in and arrest people, and he's being the hero to a lot of people by saying, no, I don't think that's necessary now. But he's guarding himself. He's not taking care of us. You can believe that. What we've got to decide at this point is, do we want to block the roads? Because that's what it's going to come to. There are three. It takes too many people to block the entrances to the site. And if they get a restraining order to keep us off, and they get their restraining order lifted, we're going to be arrested anyway. And it would probably be simpler to just block 3 areas than to block 8. Incidentally, they tried to enter 5 sites, 5 entrances into the land on Tuesday, and we blocked them every time. And I was so proud of them. Let me say that if you're willing to stand on the front lines, as we started calling it, and you're wearing the orange armband, you need to wear it around town. Wear it to your job if you don't think they're going to fire you. They won't fire me because they want me to cook and wash clothes there. I'm a housewife. But if you don't feel jeopardized, wear it to work. Or if you're going to the grocery store, wear it because it'll get people involved. And take their name. If they want to be involved, take their name and number and call it, and hopefully you can get through on my telephone. I doubt you can, but give it to me and we'll get them on the calling list. So what I want to know from y'all is, do you want to block the roads? That's what it's going to take. Establish is a patrol. And I understand there are a lot of people with CDs in their cars and trucks, and they're just not showing up the way. We probably need 8 or 10 people with CDs. If you know someone that's willing to get involved and has a CD, or if you do, get in contact with me. This Elizabeth Stanley Smith at the Oxford Directory. We need people to patrol the area. And if you've got any kind of crooked little end into the highway patrol, we got to have it. We have got to have some kind of end. I've got a possibility, not through that agency, but we have got to get something. If you get any tidbit of information, you need to call Harold Jenkins, 528-1477, or myself, 693-8134. If anything looks suspicious, and we'll go check it out. So now I need some suggestions on a patrol. Would anybody in the STEM or Oxford area volunteer to go check out sites if we get a call so that we can get the, what's your name?
Ben Bartlett.
What?
Ben Bartlett.
What's your name?
Ben
Bartlett. Got to get that hearing aid. Stand here. Ben Bartlett.
528-2942.
528-2942. 528-2942.
I'm within 7 miles of any one of the sites. I was out there today riding around trying to find the second site. I'm not clear on exactly where that is. But if anybody sees anything suspicious, they'll give me a call. I'll be glad to go check it out. I saw state surveyors on the West Trolley Green Road today. And I got their license number. I don't know if they were involved in the sighting or not. But I was out there and I was talking to neighbors across the street who don't even know the incinerator's even coming. So there's people in this county that don't even know that they're under the thing. And I beg everybody that I talk to, incinerator.
My name is Ray Newton. I'm a half mile from the site, maybe a little bit closer. And my number's in the phone book. It's 69. Huh? Ray Newman.
Ray Newman.
Yeah, I'm a half mile from the site. The number's 693-5289. You might want to do something like a community watch where you think about however many people it takes.
Oh, but there's a yellow piece of paper up there. If you're willing to participate in a community watch, let's sign your name on that. If you're available for a few hours during the day, or maybe we can organize something regarding that. If you want to be involved in this, whether go to the site and lock arms when we need you to be there, or to just make telephone calls to help get people to the site, there are white pieces of paper up there at the desk. Please sign those if we don't have your number already. We just completed one telephone screen today, and we think we've got the number up to now, and someone to call you for everyone that has participated up to this point.
I've got some information I want to share with the group if I may. In fact, I was just in this gentleman said he saw some of those went out of Green Road. Let me ask you if I may. Did you get license number PB1478? Let me share with you. I talked to that man today. I started last night. Late at 12 o'clock. I was returning the immediate system in Granville County. I was going to find. And some of you may not be aware that over the last 3 to 4 years, the U.S. Department of Agriculture Soil Conservation Service has been mapping all the soil in Granville County. That project is underway, to my knowledge, in all the surrounding counties. It is going on in Granville County now. In fact, according to G.N.A.T, and I found that quite ironic today as I talked to him.
Coming to this county and tell that name.
Now, it is, in fact, I went to a man's house on, well, it's been Tuesday night now, following up. Harold Jenkins had gone, and on East Dollar Green Road, the man was first seen there. I went to his house and got a description and proceeded to try to find out. And I know of being in the agricultural field, Soil Conservation Service does this as a routine thing as far as the Department of Agriculture program. And I called today, in fact, some of you may be interested in this number, 693-8378. This man said today he personally apologized to me because I made him aware of how much concern that his presence had created in the number of phone calls that had been generated from his involvement in actually taking soil samples. And I know some of the activities that they've done in the past was to actually go out and soil sample all of the open farmland. He pointed out to me today that they were in the process of finishing up some of the soil surveys, particularly in the Folly Green Road area. I live over on that site, and in fact, he was there. He also was over on Stump Wilkins Road, I learned, because there were a number of folks who've been in touch with me that literally were following him today. But he did point out that among the surveys, and I don't know where you saw it, but he said that he was actually taking soil samples at this time out in the woods because they had already taken the samples in most of the open land.
He was in the woods and there was not a soul in the vehicle at the time, so I had no way to talk to him about it.
Now, this man did say he would be glad to share with anybody that came into the office. He gave me the hours. There are 3 people in the county, and you might be interested to know this thing will continue to go on until they're finished. This particular vehicle, the information I have, and I personally have not seen the vehicle, but I understand it was a Pan Suburban. Is that the one?
Yeah, big Pan.
Also, I inquired, and you might be interested, and just keep your eyes out to see what does occur. There is a Ranger pickup and a Chevrolet pickup, and I understand both have U.S. Department of Agriculture written on the side. Now, if you're interested in doing any further follow-up, if you go into Oxford, their office is located on Hillsborough Street. That's Here, the best closest business I can tell you is where Farmers Mutual Insurance is. That's near the flower shop and Sherman Hardware. And if you aren't really familiar with that location, if you know where the Yancey's run the Isuzu dealership, if you go into Hillsborough Street coming into town, you'll see the soil survey sign over on the business on the left. I just want to share that with the group to let you know what we have uncovered at this point. Now, granted, I'd be the first to point out that it's a public agency and anybody should have access to it. The man said today, if you want to see what's going on, come see it. That time for actual contact, they said, would be 7 o'clock in the morning because the heat has been so bad recently. They actually try to go out 7 to 7:30 in the morning, and they're back in the office in the 2:30 to 3 range, is what he indicated today. You can call him, I'd say after 3 or 3:30. I actually caught up with him this afternoon about 3:15.
That suburban's not marked.
That's what I
It is
understand.
not marked. The only thing you'll notice is the yellow permanent tag.
Right. I did find out that actually what was going on the sighting on East Valley Green Road, that gentleman from Oxford, Jim Martin, being evaluated by his state supervisor, and the 2 men actually taking the sample. Okay.
Okay, thank you all.